From Second Stage Theater, see the new play from the writer NPR calls one of the hottest playwrights in America, with Kate Bornstein, Josh Charles, Ty Defoe, Armie Hammer, and Paul Schneider. See Straight White Men on Broadway for 10 weeks only. Visit 2st.com.
Hi, need a ride? Hop on in. I'm headed to Julia's Trucking Cafe. Come on, let's go. Cool, we made it just in time. Come on, let's go get a seat. Welcome, everybody, to another show of Julia's Trucking Cafe. This is Julia. I'm in Hub, Ohio, at the Truckers World, broadcasting live. I hope everybody's having a good Monday so far. Everybody has a good week. I just came back and doing a round from Kansas City to Portland, Oregon, to Sumner, Washington, then from Washington over to Minnesota. From Minnesota, they deadheaded me back down to St. Joe, Missouri, to pick up the load that I'm on now, going to Hawthorne, New Jersey. So I hope everybody is still trucking up and still keeping the shiny side up. Tonight we're going to be talking about a lot of different things that are going on around the country in the trucking industry, and some updates to some previous stories on a previous show. So let's get right to it. And the first thing is a UPS driver pulls over to pay respect for a fallen police officer. This was a Facebook post, and it made it into CDL Life. And all of the show notes, all of these links to all of these articles will be on my website, under show notes. Go to the website, juliastruckingcafe.com, click on Cafe menu, and go under the subhead of show notes. So a UPS driver took time out of his schedule as a police funeral procession for a fallen officer passed by, and he stood at attention, hands behind his back, to pay tribute to a fallen officer. A Haley Harris Smith posted this on Facebook, and that it shows the driver standing at attention. Captain Paul Phillips' funeral procession passes by him in Bartlett, Tennessee. She writes, well, I was in a processional for a fallen officer here in Bartlett, Tennessee. I saw this guy on the side of the road. This guy showed amazing respect and thank you. And that they turned around and edited the post saying that it was, who the officer was, and it was a fallen officer. In other news, troopers in Pennsylvania are going to be hiding in Pennsylvania DOT maintenance vehicles as a part of the speed enforcement campaign this week going on right now. The enforcement campaign is called Operation Yellow Jacket and is taking place from now through Saturday, according to a television station in Pennsylvania. During Operation Yellow Jacket, troopers will be concealing themselves inside Pennsylvania DOT maintenance trucks in order to spot speeding and other moving violations. If a speeder is spotted, the trooper will radio ahead to troopers in marked cruisers to pull over and cite the driver. Now, I don't know about you all, but wouldn't this be a case of entrapment? It sounds like it to me. I'm, no attorney or anything, but it really does sound like that to me. Troopers will be focusing on drivers who violate the state's move over or steer clear law, which requires a driver who are coming upon an emergency response area to move over into an adjacent lane. First-time violators could be fined $250 for violating the move over law. Pennsylvania State Police have been using the Operation Yellow Jacket method to catch speeders for years, as it gives them a chance to catch drivers who might be savvy enough to slow down for marked police vehicles. Well, you think? Hello? You know, if you're going to be speeding and you're going to see a cop, what does everybody do? They hit the brakes. All of a sudden you see all these brake lights come on. Or, you know, when they have somebody pulled over, you see all these brake lights come on. They cause a wreck because they're trying to move over when you can't. So I'm thoroughly against this because of the fact that when I drive a semi-truck just like everybody else does. You know, truck drivers that might be listening to the show. How many times are you going down the interstate and you have a line of cars, 10, 15, 20 cars. You're coming up on a police officer and pulled somebody over on the shoulder of the road. You can't move over. You're going to stop dead in the middle of the interstate to move over and get rear-ended and cause an accident? How is Pennsylvania getting away with this kind of garbage? You know, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is my platform. Yeah, I get kind of irate at this kind of stuff because this is causing an accident because you don't move over. If the lane is to the left is clear, fine. Go ahead and move over. But if it's not, there's no way you can. How are you supposed to? And I have 43,000 pounds in my trailer today. That means I'm over 78,000 with full tanks. I can't stop on a dime. We all know this. Takes at least 750 yards. That's 2 football fields. A little over 2 football fields to stop this 60-foot thing. I mean, come on, people. Really? Stop and think a minute. Jeez, thanks. You know, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Don't get it. Don't get it. In other news, a trucker says he crashed on I-70 bridge because he was cut off by a car. There again, the picture of the truck looks kind of precarious to me, and you know he was shitting his you-know-what. It was a flatbed day cab truck, and the cab is hanging precariously over the edge of the concrete barrier on the 2-lane bridge in Florida. It occurred about 7:15 in the morning, and the northbound lanes over I-75 on the J.D. Young Bridge in Manatee County were closed. The driver was a 49-year-old Sarasota truck driver, and he told police that a white vehicle changed from the right to the center lane right in front of him. He said he tried to avoid rear-ending the vehicle, but wound up losing control of his rig and jackknifing on the wet road. The truck then collided with a concrete barrier and crashed over it, leaving the cab of the truck dangling over the Manatee River. And this was happened July 20th. So I am catching up, everybody, with the news. There again, you know. Now for the results, some of the results of the CVSA, Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance, road check that happened last week. In Texas, the Texas Department of Public Safety has released results from the road check inspection blitz. They inspected almost 8,000 vehicles during that 3-day campaign. And of those vehicles, approximately 24%, or almost 2,000 vehicles, were placed out of service for safety violations, which included brake issues, tire defects, and the most common violations that were led to be put out of service. They also placed 301 drivers out of service during the road check for various violations, including failure to have a proper type of driver's license for the vehicle being driven, and violation of out-of-service requirements. Hours of service, I'm sorry. Violations of hours of service requirements. They issued over 18,000 warnings and over 1,200 citations during that 72 hours. And they're one of the first states to release their results. Now, Rhode Island is another state so far. I'll keep you posted of what's going on. Rhode Island did their roadside check, and they uncovered 800 violations and inspected more than 400 vehicles in a little bitty state of Rhode Island. Go figure. 86 trucks with drivers were placed out of service, putting the out-of-service rate at over 21%. A little bitty state. Inspectors uncovered 565 vehicle violations, 116 driver violations, 62 vehicles were taken out of service for major defects, such as a flat tire, underinflated tires, inoperable turn signals or brake lights, or air brakes out of adjustment. 24 drivers taken out of service for violations such as driving too many hours without the required number of hours of breaks, not maintaining proper logbooks and records, or not having a medical card as required. 2 drivers were arrested for operating a motor vehicle with a suspended CDL license. 1 driver was issued a summons for possession of marijuana. Yeah. Oh, boy. 13 operators were cited for failure to stop for a mandatory roadside inspection, and 4 drivers were cited for seatbelt violations. Marijuana. Boy, we won't say how that brings back memories, now will we? According to the Rhode Island State Police, inspections took place at the weigh stations at Route 146 South in North Smithfield and on Interstate 95 North in Richmond. They were conducted by troopers from the Rhode Island State Police, Commercial Enforcement Unit, and yada, yada, yada. So if you want to read more on this article, there again, you just go to the show notes. Now, kind of in some sad news, if any of you ever stopped to the Tiger Truck Stop in Louisiana, and I think it's Bonne Terre, you may have to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just guessing. Tony the Tiger was put down because back last year, October, I believe, of last year, and after spending 17 years at Grosse Tete, at the Tiger Truck Stop, at the Grosse Tete, Louisiana, I apologize. He was suffering from kidney failure and was. So Casper the camel has taken his place, who is a 5-month-old dromedary camel, and he's currently living in the same cage where Tony used to reside. Michael Sandlin, the owner of the Tiger Truck Stop, says he will continue the legal battle to get a new tiger to replace Tony, but animal rights groups, of course, they got to intervene. Oh, the diesel fumes are killing him. The cat is outside. The diesel fumes aren't going to kill that cat any more than it's going to kill me or you. You stand outside long enough, it's going to kill you too then. If it's going to kill that poor kitty, because he was nowhere near any trucks. He was way off toward the front of the truck stop as an attraction to get people to come and visit. You know, he was a double-line cage. You could just look at him. You couldn't go up next to the cage or nothing. He had plenty of toys in there. He had shade, water. It is not any different than keeping a dog outside. You know, they're used to being outside. They're used to roaming free. But if he was, raised that way, he wasn't suffering. He probably eating better than me and you. I'm like, come on, people, tree huggers. God, I swear. But anyway, in other news, let's see. There's a cute video that's floating around the internet with 3 Texas cops, and they have a message for the guy who walked past a hazmat crash with a lit cigarette. I'm like, really, people? Do you really want this country to go kaboom? A few Texas cops came together to roast a pedestrian for being dumb enough to walk past a hazmat commercial vehicle crash with a lit cigarette. This video has been viewed over 1 million times. I mean, that is too funny. There again, I'm gonna have this in the show notes, and it is really funny to see this. Officers, they all have a piece of grass in their mouth, and this kind of thing. So you could view that video on either look for it on Facebook or go to the show notes and you can see it there. Link will be in the show notes. So that's pretty funny. This episode of Julia's Trucker Cafe is brought to you by Julia's Virtual Assistant Service. If you know anybody that are in need of a website, social media marketing, or transcript for their podcast, contact Julia's Virtual Assistant Service. They give great service, great customer service, accurate transcription with economical prices, and most cases 38-hour turnaround time. So contact Julia's Virtual Assistants by going to juliasvaservice.com. That's juliasvaservice.com, juliasvaservice.com for all of your transcription, social media marketing, or website needs. Check her out today. I want to thank everybody for liking the first recipe post on our Facebook page. Thank you so much. You all are awesome. I had a bunch of shares. I had a bunch of people liking it. I want to thank Joanne Ayers Stearns for letting me share her recipe. It's really her recipe. She just allowed me to post it, to be the first post on our new website. And thank you so much, Joanne. She gave me a few other recipes to share, too, that real helpful, quick meals that you can do in your truck. Anybody out there that wants to share their recipes, please feel free. You can email me at info@juliastruckingcafe.com. That's info@juliastruckingcafe.com to share your recipe with me. And please keep checking the website for more updates of new recipes every week. So now I want to get into a little bit of different news. I have an update on the truck driver that went missing. One second. The 24-year-old truck driver that's been missing since June was found over the weekend. So this was July 9th. So it would be, 14 days ago? 2 weeks ago? Over that weekend. He was last seen in June, Austin Jones. He was reportedly found in New Jersey over the weekend, according to New Jersey Station. His aunt, Shannon Downs, told the station that he was picked up by New Jersey police as he was walking down the road. He was reportedly taken to the hospital for treatment of severe dehydration. If you don't remember the story or you didn't hear my show where I reported this, he was a driver for Sierra England. He's 24 years old. His family hasn't seen him since June. They found his truck at a truck stop in Illinois. All of his belongings were still in the truck, but he was gone. Come to find out, an Illinois State Patrol picked him up and gave him a ride because he told the State Patrol that he was trying to get to New York. so the Illinois State Patrol gave him a ride. I don't know any more than that. He's a resident of Monticello, and the family was offering, reward for him and stuff for his safe return. And all of a sudden, how he got to New Jersey, they're not really saying. I will check into that. I'll see if I could find anything out on this. There again, will be in the show notes. And let me see if there's, I don't see it there, but I will dig into that a little bit more to see exactly what happened, and I'll go to a news station and exactly see what happened and trying to dig in a little bit further, and I will keep you updated on, what's going on. And lastly, but not least, in Alabama, community college is offering a women-only CDL training course. Calhoun Community College recently announced that they'll be offering the course CDL training for women starting in September. According to the college's website, the course is an option for those interested in receiving a CDL and their endorsements. Day classes offered Monday through Thursday, September 4th through the 27th, 8 to 5, at the Calhoun Decatur campus. The 4-week, 160-hour program will prepare students to pass the written and road test for Class A or B license. Now, my question would be, who is the instructor? We thought that this Donna Bass, with the Workforce Solutions Project Manager, says we thought the best thing to do is to offer a class for women that may have been intimidated by the men in other classes to get in here with our instructor, Mary Smith, and to work with her one-on-one. Who is Mary Smith? What is her certifications? How long has she been driving a truck? So I'm gonna contact the Calhoun Community College or go on their website. I'm sorry I haven't had a chance to research all that. And stay tuned for the next show so that I'll give you an update on that if any of you ladies are interested in getting your CDL, but who happen to live in Alabama. So I will delve into that more often, and it says registration is currently open for the September course. And you could go on to their Calhoun, Community College in Alabama to find out more about it. But, definitely want to, and there again, all of these links are going to be in my show notes that I'll post after the show. So make sure that you keep an eye on the website, keep an eye on Facebook. Like I said, thanks again for everybody that is communicating, listening, sharing recipes, wanting to share recipes. Please get involved. Please also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Really wanting to build that YouTube presence. Also, I'm on iTunes under podcasts and iHeartRadio under podcasts. Just search for Julia's Truck and Cafe. Remember to like our Facebook page. If you got a business card from me, keep it. One of a kind. I designed them myself, printed them myself right here in my truck. Along with, I have my own mobile studio right here in the truck. Sometimes if the signal, I'm doing this over Wi-Fi, so sometimes if the signal isn't the best, please bear with me. Please keep listening. I'm not begging, but I would really, really, really appreciate it if you would keep listening. Sometimes there's commercials thrown in. The platform that I use, that's an automatic thing with them. I can't get rid of it. Sometimes if the if there's a lot of static or if it's breaking up really bad, I will re-record the show to do, give you a clearer show a broadcast. I'm trying real hard to quit saying ahs and ums, but and I'm also thinking about getting a sidekick. So let me know your thoughts on that as well. Please leave comments on the Facebook page, Julia's Trucker Cafe. Please join our discussion group, Julia's Trucker Cafe Regulars. It's really hard because I'm doing this all myself. So I don't have no big media presence. I don't have any big ad agency, marketing agency, or anything like that helping me out. I'm driving truck 10 hours a day. I'm trying to post everything. I'm trying to do the show once a week, trying to research everything, trying to keep a presence on Facebook and Twitter, and, you know, the platform is a real big help. But it gets to be overwhelming at times, so please bear with me. I greatly appreciate it. So thank you again, everybody, for listening. We got over 1,000 listeners so far. So, whoop, you know, I greatly appreciate it so much. Y'all are awesome. And I know I usually don't have a real long show. I try not to, even though I have set aside an hour. I do that because in case I have people that call in, you can call in every Monday evening. I'm trying to do these live. You know, the call-in number is 213-943-3411. That's 213-943-3411. We could talk about any kind of the topics, anything you've heard about that I haven't really discussed or talked about. I'm still working on videos for different recipes and that kind of thing. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from people that are really liking the show. They're really following me and stuff. So the feedback is great. Really, like I said, I'm really trying to get, you know, everything working, going and stuff. It just gets a bit overwhelming. So I really appreciate y'all's patience with me. I really want to get this to take off. So, you know, as many of you that can support me by subscribing to the YouTube channel, following me on Facebook, and liking, if you have iTunes, you know, iPod or iPhone, and Android under the podcast app, you know, any help, iHeartRadio, follow me on iHeartRadio. Any help would be greatly appreciated. And looking at doing different things in the future, you know, maybe a call-in kind of thing as far as any kind of questions and stuff goes. So tonight we're going to go ahead and cut it just a little bit short. There again, it's about 28 minutes. So I want to thank everybody. It's just, like I said, been a busy weekend trying to want to make sure that I've covered everything. The trucker crashed, UPS driver, Texas officers, and the troopers hiding in Pennsylvania, and the updates. And so if you have any news or anything that you want me to talk about, speak about, anything like that, like I said, feel free, you know, please. I enjoy the comments, enjoy the feedback, call in, you know, Monday nights, 6 o'clock Central Time to 7. Try to, you know, if I have callers and that kind of thing. So I'm hoping that this will grow. Just think you're on the ground floor of hopefully something pretty spectacular. So thank you so much for listening. I greatly appreciate it. And you take care and everybody take care and keep the shiny side up. And until next week.
Face it, you're different. Everyone is. Same goes for your banking needs. That's why Columbia Bank offers an impressive range of checking account solutions specifically designed for, well, you. Looking for a rewards program? Check. High yield checking? Check. Mobile and online banking? Apple Pay? Check. You'll always find more checking choices for you. So check us out at your local Columbia Bank branch or ColumbiaBankOnline.com. Count on Columbia.
Equal housing lender and member FDIC.